Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very welcome. Right, today we've got a slightly different show in that we have two different maps that are almost exactly the same. Today's first map, it's a top performing map of the moment, which would normally get done on a Monday, but we're doing it today because it's a slightly quirky show in that we've got two identical maps. Top creator, you'll recognise their name, we've done them many times in the past, and this map is one of their best, no doubt in my mind about that. Today's second map is by a first time creator, and it's of the exact same location. The map was uploaded a couple of days after this one, and the question then becomes, is this map a copy? Well, we'll find out. We'll do a proper investigation, but first of all, we've got some work to do. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for doing some work. Today's first map is Morro Bay, a vanilla map by Sidai. Sidai is back, and when I say I think this is one of their best maps, I think arguably it's my favourite map of theirs of all time. There is your start square, a couple of access points there, bit of river, bit of coast, terrain heights. We've got a couple of very neat little valleys going on there, a main valley and a little side valley. We've got hints of resources. It's definitely playable, not too much in the way of ore, but it's definitely a decent playable map. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, your fishing map is a little bit ordinary, but it's not always about the fish. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, no DLC required today. There is a one-click collection, which we'll have a look at in a moment. We'll be using the Albedo Dream theme by Ikanya, the late great Ikanya, along with the Relight to Lush Lut. And like I say, it's of course it's Sidai. It's a very nicely presented workshop page. Now, the visual page, this is the one-click collection page, has all the visual mod settings. A couple of these I'm not running with, like Render It, because switching up the Render It settings, you can see there are so many of them for every single map, I would just not be able to do this show. So I've got my regular Ultimate Eye Candy and Relight settings, the same settings that I use for every single map, so every map is judged the same. I'm not tweaking things about, and I'm sorry that it's not going to be an exact match as you'd like it to be. But yeah, you can see which things I'm not subscribed to there. I do have Daylight Classic, but I have the old version. Okay, down to ground level, and well, you're going to kind of recognise this because we are going to look at two maps that are almost identical but are not quite, and we'll be following this exact same route on the second flyover. Well, at least until we reach the start square. That's where things will start to change. Now, Sidai, what can I tell you about Sidai? They do know what they're doing. They really do. I'm going to tell you, with this particular map, there is only one thing that niggles me with this map, and it's really small. And I can see it on the screen now. And just even on the screen now, it's annoying me and niggling me. We will have a look at it in the late part of the review. Now, I know I'm going to get highly criticised for it. I'm going to get highly criticised for my opinion on this. Remember, my ratings are very different from the ratings that you use at the end of the show. You have a generic, is it a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, or 1-star overall. If I'm rating this map, let's just tell you now, I have no question. This is a 5-star map. In my opinion, if I was voting, and I don't vote, I leave this to the viewer's choice vote, you see. I leave this to you guys to vote on. I don't swing the vote with my own opinions on this one. There is one little thing that, I'm kind of saying now, it's not going to be an all-star map. One little thing, it just niggled me. The longer I spent looking at the map, and I spent ages just marvelling in this map, I kept going back to this one thing going, oh, this is annoying me. And yeah, I'm actually gonna fix it in the show. When I say fix it, make it so that I like it in the show. It's not broken. It's not broken, and you can tell it's going to be opinion. There's going to be many of you going to say, actually, I liked it before. I liked it how it was before you changed it, BonBon. And I'm going to say that's great. Don't change it. It's an all-star map in your eyes. Perfect. For me, it just would not leave me alone. It just would not leave me alone. And I'm doing a lot of talking about that now because, frankly, there's not really too much else to say apart from the map is perfection. You know, this intersection here, this is based on the real life intersection, which is a little trumpet one there. It's not an exact copy, but it's a close copy, and I appreciate that it's a close copy. Also, a big shout out to Sidai for this one. The intersection marking tool is a very close match to the vanilla markings. There's probably a little bit more tweaking that can be done. Nah, it doesn't need it. Don't need it. It's absolutely perfectly good enough. Perfectly good enough, and I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change it. I did fiddle about with it. I did when I first, and do you know what? No, it's good. It's honestly, it's not worth playing with. It's perfect, right? I'm going to cut down through this little valley here. We're going to do this in the second flyover as well, and this is going to take us into the start square area, which is absolutely lovely. Now, the real-life location of Morro Bay. In fact, this isn't Morro Bay we're entering now. Morro Bay is, I think, behind us, I think, on the coast. This is, like, on the river. I can't remember. Is it OC? I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, both towns are annoyingly, in real life, this is beautiful as well, are annoyingly grid cities. When I say cities, towns, grid towns. We're in America. Why would they not be grid towns? It's just that this map kind of sings to me. This could be played with a proper organic, just a beautiful curved towns. It's set, you know. But no, the real life location is grid. So I mean, I can't complain. And of course, Sidai is leaving it down to us to how we do it. Now, we've got a bit of rail coming in down here. This goes down the side of the map, well, down the main valley. You can also see this in the second half of the second map as well. But they've done their own take on the rail, which I've already recorded, so I won't be able to comment on Sidai's map while doing that. While we do that flyover, I've recorded that in advance. I wanted to spend my time on this one. I really wanted to really focus on this one because the more I looked at it, the more I was wowed by it. But anyway, yeah, the rail doesn't enter the start square, but it's very close. I think it's the second tile by, and so if you really want to have rail access in your early city, you can actually do this. But yeah, there's just so much with this one. The tree painting on this one, the subtleties of the tree painting on this one are just like it's busy. Tree count is strong without going through the roof. It's within vanilla base game levels, and it's just very subtly done. This is quality, and I'm bugged by the one thing that's bugged me with this map, because I just wish I hadn't been bugged by it, because I can't say there's a map recently in the last year or two that I've more wanted to give an all-star rating to. It's everywhere I go on this one. Like, we have hills over there. We've got some really rugged hills over here with a mountain river. We'll have a look at a couple of rivers in a moment. There are Sidai, your rivers, my friend. Your rivers are as good as I've seen. These are, considering they're really light, narrow flow rivers, they are just done so well. And this really iconic bay as well, which we'll have a look at the bay and that big old sandbar. That sandbar, oh man alive, Sidai, what have you done? What have you done? Anyway, we'll follow this river. We're not going to take the dry river on the left just yet, but we will come back and follow the dry river, because I think that in itself is worth a little follow, that particular one. And there are so many little things in this map that we could just go. I could spend easily half an hour just picking a cluster of trees and talking about an individual cluster of trees on this map. The theme, of course, made by the late great Icania. Ah, how we miss thee and I. There, your fantasy maps and your really really strong themes as well. Do check out their workshop, Icania's workshop. It's just some really good stuff on there, including the magic tunnels, of course. Anyway, this river, it starts up here. Spawn point is absolutely fine for where it is. It's nowhere near any playable areas, so it doesn't need to be completely disguised, you know. And then we have the dry rivers, and these aren't completely dry. We've got one or two little lakes just dotted along here, and it's just, again, so sweetly done. I'm absolutely in awe. Sidai, I'm in awe. I'm saying it. I'm in awe, and I'm so frustrated. I'm a little bit frustrated with you for making me get frustrated about one little tiny thing on your map. It's tiny. It's so tiny. But I genuinely believe that it's important enough to me that it's just, anyway. Where were we? Right. This is weird and wonderful. And at first I thought I don't like it. Oh, I like it. It's a river delta. We have a river coming in from the right. We've got this river cutting through the hills here on the left. And then that goes up the first valley, the one that we came down on that highway right at the start of the flyover. That goes up that valley there. Right. Well, the coast. Wow, what have you done with the coast here, Sidai? What have you done? We've got this rocky outcrop, which is beautiful. Wouldn't change that at all. And we've done a lot of jetsam, flotsam and jetsam, and it's just look at all of this. Look at the rock work along here. Can you believe this is vanilla? Okay, the theme isn't, but can you believe that this is vanilla? Got this with the little footpath going around the coast, along the shoreline, around the rocky outcrop, and that is so very nicely done as well. And then we've got this sandbar. I mean, I have no words. I have no words for this. This is majestic. I mean, probably not going to be doing any building over here. I don't care. I don't care. That is absolutely majestic, Sidai. I'm wowed. Just wowed by it. Got a little harbour type thing here with the Essential Lighthouse. Isn't she lovely? Ah, yes. I'm really glad you haven't put the vanilla pier in there, which I imagine somebody else might. Then we have everybody's favourite factory. And look at this. I mean, just even the way this rail continues, but doesn't continue, but does continue, but doesn't continue. With the little things there, it looks like you're actually putting in the next catenary there as well. Honestly, this is phenomenal. And also, somewhere where a lesser creator would have these, so you get a little bit of alpha glitching going on with the textures. Of course, there aren't any alpha glitching with the textures. That is really lovely as well. And it's the second factory over here, including the ChirpX car park. Yes, I have learned from you guys about the ChirpX car park. A bit of logging, but yeah, everybody wants a little bit of the ChirpX car park now, don't they? Because they know what just an amazing little addition that's been right there under our noses all of the time, all of this time even. That's lovely. That's just really, really nice. I'm not even having a look at the intersection down there, the Parklow. We're ignoring it. We're not going to ignore the shipping routes because there's bound to be a problem with the shipping routes. There's bound to be, isn't there? You just know that there is. Well, there isn't. Of course there isn't. We've got a little shipping triangle over here, which is going to loop in. Really glad to have this one loop into the harbour, and comes into the harbour and gives us access to all the nooks and crannies in the harbour, which is good. And then this one that follows the coastline, and we've got a little double entry over here, which I don't know if we really needed the extra one down there. Just one would have been fine, but I'm not marking it down. It doesn't not add extra gameplay. It doesn't detract, does it? Okay, water flow in the start square. It's a little bit light, but it is definitely there and definitely usable. And I would just recommend buying an extra tile as soon as you can with a separate water source area, just for safety. Or just use water towers. Again, always the water towers. So anyway, and look at this underwater detailing as well. I tried to do this with St. Catherine's Point, and it wasn't anywhere near as slick and as polished as Sidai has done here. I'm actually a little bit jealous. I mean, even see how the water's pushing out there with the sand. It is just sublimely done, and again, another reason why this should be an all-star map. It really should be. I know it, you know it. There's just one little thing. There is just one little thing. And it's this rocky outcrop over here. Now, this exists in real life. It's a good looking mountain, and you're going to say, looks absolutely fine to me, BonBon. What are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with that. And I would say, yeah, it's just one thing that just will, I cannot stop looking at it. I cannot stop looking at it. And it's not there in real life either, as you can see on the screen now. And it's this knob there. Now, I can understand that that's been put in to give it a bit more sharpness and a little bit more jaggedness. But I'm distracted by it, and you can see it. You can see that little, sometimes with as you go away, you can no longer see it. I don't know if you can make that out in YouTube, but I can still see it there. It's just drawing my eye to that. I can't appreciate the entirety of the mountain because of that one little spiky thing there. It's just doesn't work for me. So anyway, I'm going to fix it now. I'm going to use those settings that you can see on the screen now. I'm just going to brush this down with some light brush settings just to take a little bit of the edge. I don't mind it being a little bit pointy-uppy, but I just wanted to take a little bit of the edge off of it. Is that okay? I think it's still a little bit pointy. Just a little bit pointy. Let me just take a little bit more off from this angle. There we go. There we go. Now for me, this becomes an all-star map. That is no longer distracting me. There's no longer that little spike on the top. And if we come over from this angle, and that's fine. It's annoyed me that annoyed me. Because as I told you, right, it's a silly little thing. Many of you are going to have your own opinion that it was absolutely perfect the way that it was. I just don't. In my head, that was just poking me in the eye. But anyway, that is why I give you the chance to vote on the map. Is this a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Probably the map of the month, I feel. But it's not my opinion, it's yours. Click the link in the description. Make sure you're voting on the correct Morro Bay. This one is by Sidai. So what do I think of Morro Bay by Sidai? Well, aesthetically, this is outstanding. This is a 5-star map through and through. That spike on the top of that mountain, I had to change for my own. It was there. And because I had to change it, and I would have to change it if I was playing this map, I can't give the 5 stars. I'm going to go for a very, 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 as high as you can go, 4 stars. On the other hand, detailing, spectacular. There's no reason on this earth why this map would not get anything but a maximum score from me for detail. And for gameplay potential, this map just draws you in. It's complex. You can do a grid city if you're copying real life, or you can do an ergonomic city, or you can just marvel at how beautiful it is. It's 5 stars for gameplay for me, and so it's golden, and it's BonBonB seal of approval. I'm sorry, Sidai. I promise you, I really wanted to go all-star on this one. I haven't done it for a long time. The question is, will today's second map be anywhere near as good as this one? And so on with today's second map. Now this one has the potential to be the most controversial map of the year, if only I can prove one small thing, and that is whether or not the map happens to be stolen. You see, Morro Bay by Sidai wasn't the only Morro Bay map to be uploaded this week. In fact, both of the Morro Bay maps that were uploaded this week were 100% vanilla, which seems a little bit fishy. Sidai's map comes out and then 2 days later somebody else has a Morro Bay map? Right, okay, let's look into this. But first of all, let's accept that coincidences can happen. You only got to look back to 2018 where Sidai uploaded a map called Mont St. Catherine, and then 2 weeks later somebody uploaded another St. Catherine's map, St. Catherine's Point. That one was me, and I'll let you know now, I had that map name planned for a couple of months. Coincidences do happen. But let's look into this other creator first of all. Have they made any other maps? Well, the answer is yes. Very shortly after uploading this map, they uploaded Fifi Islands, a vanilla map. Another vanilla map. Now, are there any other Fifi Island maps on the workshop? And the answer is, well, yeah. Speed Tracks DJ, reviewed in episode 627 of What's Map, also a 100% vanilla map. Now, alarm bells are ringing. But they needn't. They needn't be ringing. All of this had me sort of like, yes, I've got a big story here. I can come down. Oh, no, it's not stolen. It's really not stolen. We're going to do a review. You'll see clearly this is a creator who, in making their...
It's my first map.
That's right. They've released it just coincidentally within a couple of days of one of the workshop greats and their version. Probably the worst time possibly to release a map, but we're going to review it anyway and we'll show you it's not stolen. They're actually a very, very honourable creator, and all respect to you. So today's second map is, no surprise, it's Morro Bay, California, Vanilla by Complex. Right, it's very similar to today's first map. Who knew? Who knew? There's your start square. Start square, it's very workable. Plenty of buildable space. We've got some coast, we've got a little bit of river and a highway coming in as well. Terrain heights almost identical to what we saw earlier. No real grumbles there. Resources are strong enough for a vanilla base game. No grumbles there either. Plenty of resource-free buildable space too. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, anchovies and salmon is what we have to play with. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. Talk about other DLCs a little bit later on in the review. There is a theme and LUT mix, which is in the one-click collection, which is the Seychelles theme. Mix that one in with Rocky Shore. There isn't a ready-made mix, but we're using the Relight 2 Natural LUT. Yeah, there isn't a ready-made mix, which is, it's a shame, but it doesn't really matter that much because it's a very simple. It's just two things and a LUT. Even you can do that. I know you can. Down to ground level for the flyover. A couple of trees. There aren't that many trees underneath the roads. I mean, very, very few and far between. That's one of like a couple of instances, and that's all. So it's not one to grumble about. In fact, the road laying is of a decent standard. I know there's always a concern. Always a concern that the road laying is going to be just so bad you're going to have to spend hours fixing it. You won't have to spend hours fixing this, and if this map is more to your taste than Sidai's, and there's no reason why it shouldn't be, you probably won't be, but there's no reason why it shouldn't be, there's going to be no fixing to do with the highways. The highways are fine. We have this one that runs down from the top and across, and got just a little bit more encroaching foliage right here. This is the worst bit, actually. Here we go. This is the worst bit. Trees underneath the highways, of course, will only show through with Anarchy settings. And if you're playing vanilla, which this is a vanilla map, they will not show through. They're part of the tree count. But what's that? 4 trees? 4 trees? I don't think it's going to break your game. Pretty sure of it. Anyway, heading up towards the start square intersection, which is fine. It's kind of the sort of intersection I would expect to find in this location, so all credit for doing an intersection which just feels right. Is it the most polished one in the world? No. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. Polished? Yeah, whatever. Look, what do you want from somebody making a first map? what do you want? Okay, occasionally you get outstanding maps first time. This is a good one. This is a good one. It's just so unlucky. I feel guilty showing this one in the same show, but again, it was one of those things that it had to be. I had to check because we can't be having people stealing people's maps. It happens. It does happen. This isn't one of those occasions, obviously. Start square. There we go. Plenty of buildable room going on there. You've pretty much what you were seeing earlier. Just slightly more first mappish than a highly flourished map that's taken dozens and dozens and dozens of hours to make. I don't know how long Sidai's map took to make him. Took him to make, but yeah, it's all good. Right, we've got some very strong hills. You knew there were going to be some hills over here, didn't you? The trees, there's a little bit of tree spamming going on. It's not the worst. It's not the worst tree spamming. It's fine. Do you know what? It's more than fine. It's adequate for the map. And I've got no grumbles with it. When we come across here, we've got a bit of a clearing, the buildable area over here as well, going up the valley. We don't have rail. This is the rail. It's a little spur coming from the top. It's elevated and it's a little way from the start square. Just a little way from the start square. So that might be, if you want to do a rail-based map, that might be I'd like it drawn down a little bit, and also at ground level. I'd like that. Now here's that mountain. Do you know what? I prefer the shape of this mountain to Sidai's. Everybody's going to disagree with me. The theme, I do prefer Sidai's theme. This is a good theme mix. I do prefer Sidai's theme. This mountain, just the shape with that little spiky bit on the front. All told, I promise I'd try and find something I preferred on this map to Sidai's map. I have found it. This mountain, just a little bit. I mean, when I say just a little bit, I mean talking about a hair of percentage difference between the two in terms of the overall shape. But I think Sidai's mountain still wins because the theme and luck make it work better. Regulars to the show will know that I absolutely hate this. Putting the vanilla peas so close together that they just repeat. It's never good. Then we have, this is that river delta, and yes, it's a lot more basic. Nothing wrong with basic. Nothing wrong with it at all. The rivers don't carry on for as far either. Like this one, it goes as far as here. And you can use your imagination with all the green around it that the river might carry on further up. Along here, though, you can see that there's probably some rivers or lakes in the real-life map, where we've just got a few, like, you can see the digitization going on here, which I don't mind too much. Not too much. But yeah, it does make you feel that maybe there's a little bit more work that can be done in that area. I don't necessarily want it perfectly flat, but as it's not perfectly flat, there's possible more work that can be done with it. Here's that iconic view one last time, because I know how much you liked it first time round. And again, it's just the way different people do the same location. This location with Sidai's, yes, clearly Sidai's one. Love it a lot more than this. I don't hate this one. I really don't dislike it at all. And of course the Seychelles, the white sandy beaches make those beaches more of a tourism destination, and there is something special about that. Is it California? I've never been to California. It doesn't look California, but it does look really very visitable. Shipping routes, we have one shipping route here, which isn't too bad at all. Just a couple of jankies in there that aren't really going to be noticeable when you're in game, so that doesn't matter to me at all. And then if you want water flow, not Sunset Harbour, if you want water flow in your start square, it's a little bit light, so just be a little bit careful here. I can foresee I can see the potential for poisoning your subjects, but you know they does stretch out a little bit with that river, so you probably be okay. Probably, maybe, possibly. Anyway, one last thing to talk about. I did mention at the start of this part of the review about the LCs. This little area here, little feature area, I quite like it. And it is fenced off. And it's fenced off with this rustic looking fence which is actually part of the Park Life DLC. Now, if you don't have Park Life DLC, you won't have this fence, but the map will not be broken. The map will load fine. So there's a slight technical fault in that Park Life is required, but it's not a broken map without it. So it's only required for a little bit of fanciful detailing right there. Anyways, what do you think of today's second map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But make sure you're voting on Morro Bay Complex, because there are 2 Morro Bay maps to vote on today. I can see disasters. Anyway, what do I think of Morro Bay by Complex? Well, aesthetically, I mean, it's quite nice. It's quite nice. I don't think I can really give it a 4th star, but all told, I mean, it's not unpleasant at all, and I think this is a top end of 3-star map, very close to a 4th star. Just a little bit more experience, and that end would be right there, I tell you. Detailing is all right. It's all right. I think possibly just a little bit above middle 3, but not by much. So I'm going to go there. Slightly above middle 3 for detailing. For gameplay, I'm going to knock it down a little bit. It's still going to be 3 stars, as it's not going to let you down. It's absolutely fine. I would like to see the rail getting a bit closer to the start square, a little bit of water flow in the start square, and of course, technically speaking, you could argue that Park Life is required, but in a way that it's just missing a little bit, so possibly that could come off detail. I don't know. Anyway, 3, 3, and 3. Morro Bay, California, vanilla, complex, not a stolen map. Just getting that out there. Don't send them any hates, because they did nothing wrong apart from get very unlucky. Had it been the other way round, a few people would be shouting at that. If it had been the other way round, then maybe Sidai would be, you've stolen that one. That would be hilarious. Anyway, thanks for watching, commenting, for liking and subscribing. I've been BonBonB. You've been very, very welcome, and I'll see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching.